Hi, welcome back to another video. And of course, as you can see from the title, you have an idea of what this video is about. I want to say a special welcome to my special guest, Sophie.
Hi.
So, small disclaimer. Everything that we are about to say or talk about is definitely ours. It's not influenced by anyone, any party. We are not about any affiliation with anyone. This is just pure us. Anyways, again, I want to say a special thank you for coming to Sophie. And Sophie, if I'm asking you anything that you're not comfortable with, you can tell me to stop. It's too much for you or whatever. I ask you here for this interview because there are little things that I do want to hear from you as a dietary aid. So first and foremost, what I'm going to ask you to do is tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? How long have you been doing it for?
Okay, so hi, my name is Sophia. I've been a dietary aide over 30 odd years. I love my job. I started in high school, as you could see. I still look young, but I'm old. But other than that, like I said again, if I didn't love my job, I wouldn't be here right now.
Most definitely. And that's one of the things that I do notice about people in the healthcare profession, just as myself. We do it because of the love that we have for people, for the elderly, taking care of people. It's not solely about money. You have the passion for it, if I'm correct.
Yes,
how long have you been? You said you've been working for this. It's long-term care,
yes,
I assume.
Yes.
And what's driving you to stay in the profession, considering that we all know that the pay is not great? So
okay, so first of all, my mom, she passed away going on 28 years now. She had pancreas cancer and she was 58. And then my dad, 4 years ago, passed away. He had Alzheimer's. He was 80 years old, and a lot of that contribute to my love for my job because, again, I don't have my mom to take care of like how I take care of these residents. A lot of these residents don't have family to take care of them. So it's like we are family for them. And my dad, he was in Jamaica. He wasn't here. My sister took care of him. And I knew what she was going through because I see that every day. And it hurts my heart to know that I'm taking care of somebody else's family and not mine. But again, you know what? When you do good follows you. And that's what happened to my dad. He's 80 years old. He was fit, but his mind wasn't his.
So, and I do share that sentiment because I do recall you saying that you're a single mom.
Yes, I am.
Two
lovely girls.
So I want to take you back, and I want you to know that. Let me take you back a minute. You're a single mom.
Yeah.
And you work as a dietary aide in long-term care. Yeah. Tell me, when the pandemic hit, explain to us what was your biggest fear.
Okay. Well, my biggest fear with that was that, first of all, I live in an apartment with my 2 kids, and I work in long-term care, and my fear was to bring it home to my kids.
So your fear was to bring it home to your kids. I'm going to ask you, did that ever happen? Did you ever brought COVID home to your kids?
Yeah, I did. I caught COVID in January of this year, and yeah, I did. I brought it home to my kids, and that was a sad thing. That was, I don't even want to start getting emotional, but to know that I can't go anywhere. You understand? Because my job too, they did have opportunity to go to hotels, but who's going to take care of my kids? Do you understand? So I had to face it. I had to try to seclude myself for my kids. I mean, My girls, my rock. They're my rock. The oldest one is 14 and the youngest one is 8. And the way they take care of me, I was like shocked. I was so surprised because one of the days I was kind of feeling down and the young one was like, Mom, you know what, don't worry about it because I know you always take care of the old people at your workplace and now it's your turn. We need to take care of you. And it just broke my heart.
I know. And as I said, and I'm so sorry, like I know that this topic would be emotional for you, for me, for anybody out there who's watching, whether you're a mom, dad, just a human being. If there was something you could do differently, or something that the government, Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford, could have done differently, speak to the camera and tell them out there, Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford, this is what you could have done for me and my girls differently.
It's so many things. So many things. And so as Kelly would say, it's not about the money. You understand? But these are people's lives that you're dealing with, right? Say, for example, all right, I'm a single parent. And to know that I caught COVID and I couldn't go anywhere, I had to come home with it. They could have had somebody like a caregiver taking care of my kids too, or somebody, you know what I mean? Something like that. But yet still, it's the same thing. That caregiver can come to my home, catch COVID and, you know, give it to my kids as well. So I don't know, it's I don't even know how to explain. It's just sad. It's like I said, it's just sad that there's nothing you could have done.
So, Sophie, in terms of PPEs, as in the mask, the gowns, etc., do you find that it was adequately supplied for you in order for you not to, contracted this thing and bring it home to your girls?
Okay, let's start from the beginning, because the pandemic started in I think it was March, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a disaster at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know about anybody else's home, but we saw it on the news. It was a disaster. We didn't have enough PPEs. It was a struggle. People were wearing garbage bags. I'm sorry to say. You understand? To cover
Did
themselves.
you ever wear garbage bags, Sophie?
Not I personally, but yes, I've seen.
Your colleagues?
Yes, they did. And again, because of the shortage of PPEs. You understand? People had to buy their own masks. You know what I mean? Family were giving donations. Like, again, we were like begging, practically on our knees to get the proper PPE. Nothing was being done. And then all of a sudden, we had an outbreak. We had an outbreak, I think, twice at my home. And it was a disaster. Because the first outbreak we had, it was like, I think over 20 odd, I think, staff members caught it, and we were short staffed. Me as a dietary aide, as I was saying to you, oh, sorry.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to fit everything in that I possibly can. And right now, you're saying that over 20 some odd staff contracted the COVID virus. You as a dietary aide, I know that the government spoke about redeploying employees. So I want you to tell me, as a dietary aide, did you have to work as a PSW, a housekeeper, or tell us a little bit about that, if you had or if you hadn't?
Yeah, like I was saying to you before earlier, that yes, we were so short that I had to put on a PSW hat and work as a PSW. I've never been trained to say, okay, went to school or whatever like that, but I had to change residents, residents that was soiled, give showers, not give showers, like the bed bath that you guys were doing before, feeding. I had again, it was just sad, but I had no choice. I couldn't see these residents suffering and not help out.
So as the good-hearted healthcare provider that you are,
Yeah.
dietary staff, you jump in when you are needed.
Of course.
Okay. So I want you to tell me, as a single mom, a dietary aide, working for long-term care, you managed to survive on one job.
Yeah.
One job during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, were you only doing
No.
working one job?
I had 2 jobs.
You
I
had two.
full-time and a part-time.
So you were working 2 jobs.
Yeah, and long-term care as well.
Do you think that if your wages were increased, do you think you'd still have to moonlight at a second part-time job?
No. No, obviously not, because again, that's the reason why. People don't go and get second and third jobs for no reason.
Especially being a single mom with 2 girls.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, again, the young girls, they're growing. I have to be buying stuff, grocery, like the necessity stuff. I'm not even talking about the fun stuff, because those things I had to be put on the back burner right now, because again, food. Half of the time I have to be like, okay, guys, you know what? You can't. I'm being serious. You can't eat off everything that I buy, because it has to last that 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It has to last. Half of the time too. Sometimes I didn't even really eat as much just for them to have a meal. You understand? So it was hard. It was really hard. And then when, again, we're fighting. We're always fighting. Healthcare is always fighting for better wages. But again, it doesn't make any sense. Why? And we are like number 1 when it comes to a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I can't help but to ask that. So with always struggling to put food on the table and a roof over your head, when you heard, or when the order was put out there that you can only work at one job, I want you to take us back to how did that affected you? How did you feel about that?
Oh wow. Put it this way, within a month and a half, I lost 25 pounds.
I wouldn't mind losing 25.
But it's not in the good way.
Yes,
It's not in the
of
good
course.
way. I lost 25 pounds within a month and a half, because my mind start going, how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay my bills? Do you understand? I have 2 girls. It's like, okay, do I have to move? Do I have to go into a shelter? Do I have to beg a friend or a family? You know what? Can you put me up? Because all these things was going in my head. Plus the pandemic. Plus on top of that too, remember, the kids, they weren't going to school. I had to worry about that. Okay? For them to stay home. I didn't have a computer. You understand? So again,
schooling.
Exactly. That was like a major stress again on me.
So, Sophie, when you hear Doug Ford says that,
please.
I know my sentiments exactly. When you hear somebody of his stature that who's supposed to be looking out for you, because basically he's the father of Ontario. When you hear somebody like that say that he loves the frontline workers, he loves the healthcare workers, he loves PSW, he loves people like you, tell him, how do you feel about him saying that?
Stop talking shit. Sorry, can I say that?
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, stop talking crap. Because at the end of the day, again, I don't even remember him coming out to any of the homes to visit. To say, you know what? Okay, yeah, you guys are doing a good job. You're saying it on TV, and then you'll say one thing on TV, but on the other hand, we didn't get a raise of pay. We had to struggle to get that $3. Okay, we didn't even get it right away. And then now, this time around, only PSW got that. I'm sorry.
You got so ahead of me.
I know.
Sophie, because I applaud you, because this is what this is about. I want you to be your truthful, authentic self. Because my next question was going to be, how did you feel as a dietary aide who had to jump in as a PSW when the pandemic pay as the $3 increase came about, and you as a dietary aid who played the role of a PSW during the pandemic. We're still in the pandemic. How did that make you feel? I want you to look at him and tell him, sir, go ahead.
Sir, first of all, sir is not even worth calling him a sir.
Well, we are very respectful people.
Yes,
so
okay, we'll try be professional. You know what? It's like this. There's different groups in healthcare. You have the dietary, you have housekeeping, you have PSW, you have the RPNs. And what he did was he started a war.
Thank you.
He started a war in your own home, because at the end of the day now, all the other departments are looking at the PSW. Oh, okay, so what? You guys are better than us? I'm serious. Like, so many people came to me. Why? It's not fair. What can I say?
When you're all in the same struggle,
Exactly.
you're all fighting the same fight.
Because if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't have any food. If it wasn't for the housekeeping, the place was a mess. Nurses too, the RPNs, their medication. Who's going to give the medication? It's as you said, it's a family.
Yes.
You can't do with one without the other.
It's a team effort.
You understand? And when he's talking the bullshit, sorry to say, again, like, he needs to stop it and just be real. Just be real, because we're not stupid. We have sense. Okay?
So I excuse me. I want to talk to you about how, like, I know that you are a member of a union. We don't need to call the name.
Yeah.
And you also are on the board of trustees.
Yes.
I want you to tell me the role that your union played in your home during this pandemic.
That our union played. Oh, geez.
Where do you start and where do you end?
Exactly. First of all, as you said, they tied the union hands, right? Certain things that the unions could do, could have done in the past, couldn't. You understand? And it's like, whatever, the way they put it is as if, like, you know what? We can do whatever you want, but the union can't do nothing. We can't fight back. So if we tell you that you have to work short, no PPE, we're not supposed to say anything. Because usually when things like these things happen, crises and stuff like that, this is where your union comes in and try to fight for us. So it's like lawyers. You understand? But at the end of the day, again, their hands were tied.
So are you saying that even whatever you have accomplished or gotten during the pandemic, if it wasn't for the union, then none of it would have happened?
No, yeah, exactly. You as you can see on TV, drive-bys, supporting the staff, going to different homes, supporting, even they couldn't come in, either their flags were out there, they're blowing their horns, showing their support, dropping off food for us. Okay? Where was the government when it comes to that? A meal. You know how many people have to went hungry, I should say? And for what reason? But yet still, they had their 3 meals. You understand? They still getting their bonuses. They're still getting their raise of pay. What are we doing? Cutting. And by the time when you work, if you even work a little overtime, the amount of taxes that come out of that, nothing.
So then, Mr. Ford and Mr. Trudeau, I'm hoping and praying that this interview will reach you and that for once, stop and think and do something for healthcare. I know that in the beginning, you, Mr. Ford, you capped the nursing envelope at 1%. But do you see where that got you, sir? Nowhere. You said that you want to fix long-term care. Stop saying it and start doing something. Here we have a dietary aid right here. You gave the PSWs $3 increase. She, a dietary aid, worked as a PSW, and she didn't get that $3, sir. I'm telling you again, Stop putting us up against each other. We are a team. We work collectively together. I want to thank Sophie for coming here today and have this interview with me. Sophie, if there's anything that I didn't ask you, or if there's anything that you would like to say to let them know, the floor is yours. The camera is right there. Look straight in the camera with tears in our eyes, people. I want you to tell Mr. Ford, tell Mr. Trudeau what your expectations are.
Once again, you know how many times, how many phone calls I get. People want to commit suicide. Depressed. Don't want to live anymore. I can't even count. And to know that, this is your coworker you're talking to. What can you say to a person like that? Their family, they lost their house. They have to move their mortgage. They can't put food on the table for their kids. But yet still, we're the heroes? What kind of heroes are those? At the end of the day, again, we're human beings just like you guys. We bleed just like you guys. No matter where you come from, we're all human beings. That's all I have to say.
So with that being said, and I couldn't have put it any better myself, I want to tell you guys, thank you for watching. And I'm pretty sure I'll probably have Sophie on again. And this is something that I think that I'm going to keep on doing. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. Drop your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like this video, guys. Share it with your mama, papa, sister, auntie, uncle, brother, everybody, especially your enemies them. Until next time, peace.